The MacBook used to be one of the more upgradable laptops around. Just a few screws, a little patience, and we're already inside and could easily swap things out. It was easy, clean, and was very human designed too. If only dating was as easy as that. But now it's basically an aluminum fortress designed to keep you out with all sorts of things ranging from proprietary screws to parts pairing. Heck, at this point, I probably wouldn't be surprised if they tried pairing the bottom case to the motherboard. You see, repairing your own device is becoming less of a right and more of an inconvenience towards the consumer. They'd rather have you buy a new one when something breaks, because apparently that makes them more money than fixing your old device, all while stressing about how carbon friendly they've all become. So let's talk about the importance of repairability in the context of electronics. You see, back then, tech was made to be upgradable, as that meant longevity. Remember, Moore's law still applied back then, and performance doubled every 2 years or so. So that means that they did anything to make sure that their devices did not go obsolete within just 2 years. So, upgradability was still very important. If you bought a device, it was fully yours. If you needed more RAM, you could simply slot another stick in. If your battery was dying, you could just swap it out. And if your hard drive was too small, well, you could slap in a bigger one and call it a day. But today, when you open a modern laptop, especially the thin and light ones, you're met with glues stronger than the Craggle, shout out to our business, proprietary screws, soldered RAM, and the most fragile ribbon cables known to man. And even if you do manage to swap a part without breaking something along the way, there's still a chance that the machine won't even recognize it because of something called part pairing, where a replacement part like camera, screen, or even a battery won't work unless it's been approved by the original manufacturer. Now, some enterprises actually like parts pairing and soldering because it improves security and prevents data theft, and that totally makes sense from a security standpoint, especially when you look at it through the lens of a big corporation that handles a lot of data, like for example, Apple or IBM. But you see, security doesn't have to come at the cost of repairability either. The SSD could be made modular, but still tied to a secure enclave for authorization and encryption purposes, and so can the Touch ID button too. We've already got these advanced security chips like the TPMs, Secure Enclaves, Titan M, and a whole plethora of others, so why not just isolate the critical security components instead of locking down the whole machine? Parts pairing should only be reserved for security critical components, not batteries, not displays. But unfortunately, it's not, because it's hella profitable. Because at the end of the day, for these businesses, all that matters is dollar bills. It's a business model built on consumer inconvenience, on locking down what used to be open not because they have to, but because they can. I'm very sure in some part of this world, that is a consumer rights violation, and that's something not to be taken lightly. We're being conditioned to see tech as disposable, to see it as temporary, to throw it out and buy again when it's broken, not to fix. When in reality, newer devices can last up to decades. I mean, if we're being for real, I don't even understand how anti-repair even aligns with eco-friendly agendas. It literally increases e-waste by millions of tons. We're talking millions of devices that could have been fixed, ending up in landfills just because one screw was proprietary or one chip wasn't paired properly. And all while companies slap a green sticker on the box and call it sustainable. That's not responsible, nor is it eco-friendly, nor is it sustainable in the long run. In fact, that is just plain greenwashing. I don't get how companies like Apple, Samsung, or Microsoft can even talk about sustainability in their keynote slides and drop fancy carbon neutral charts while actively designing their devices to die faster and fight repairs harder. Worse yet, it's when others copy Apple's designs without actually incorporating any of the fixable stuff that they have. Hear me out on this one. Out of all the features on the MacBook, they didn't take the modular ports, nor did they take the diagnostic pads, nor recently in the iPhone 16, electrically active adhesive for easier battery removals. Like, I know Apple's unrepairable AF, but you still gotta give them credit where it's due, and I feel like reduce, reuse, recycle isn't enough. We're actually missing the fourth R, repair. Because without repair, the whole cycle literally falls apart. How are we supposed to reuse something if we can't even repair it? Did anybody think of that? Huh? Anybody think of that? Okay, that's enough, Fran. My neighbors might kill me if I keep doing that. When repair starts to become this hard, it's not just bad for your wallet. It's starting to become bad for the planet too. Just think about it. If you repaired an old device, that is one less to the landfill, one less battery mined, one less package shipped across the globe. Now multiply that by millions. That is what you call real sustainability. And that's why right to repair matters. Not only is it for the convenience of the consumer, but also for our wallets and for the greater good of our planet. Now, this doesn't mean all is bad and all tech companies are inherently evil. No, that's not the case. There has been progress, and recently, public pressure and legislation has started to change things. Even if it's just by little, the aggregate results would be huge. Apple launched a self-service program in 2022. Even if it is still somewhat complicated, Microsoft pledged to make Surface devices more repairable after pressure from shareholders. And in Europe, the EU passed a series of laws that were aiming to reduce e-waste and improve repairability. Heck, if it wasn't for the EU, we probably wouldn't have gotten USB-C iPhones in the first place. The European Union is out there spitting bars on consumer rights. So if governments can step in, why shouldn't the consumer step in too? As consumers, we hold more power than we think. We vote with our wallets, and wallets is what these businesses want. Right to repair isn't just a tech issue, it's also a climate and freedom issue too. Because repair isn't radical, it's reasonable, it's responsible, and it's definitely a right worth fighting for. So what are we waiting for? Bring back those modular parts, upgradable SSDs, and those hot swappable batteries. But hey, that's just my take. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit like if you liked the video, and sub for more content like this. And for my American audience, happy 4th of July Independence Day. We know what it means to you. And as always, thanks for watching, love you all, have a nice day.